start.
Okay, this is where the gas comes in. Here we have a strainer to remove any particles that are in the gas. Then we come up here, we have a gauge to check the gas pressure. And then we go through a regulator to lower the gas pressure for the pilot gas.
This regulator is preset or?
It may need to be adjusted in the field.
Okay, like would you have the limits to what it be adjusted? Would it display?
Yeah, I can let you know what it is.
Okay.
Rick could probably give you a good idea of what it should be adjusted to. And this is the gauge to check as you're adjusting the gas pressure. Then we have the two pilot valves here.
These are both in series for the gas flow to switch it off or on.
Right.
Okay.
And they're wired together, so they both come on at the same time. Then the pilot gas flows into here through this. This is a needle valve inside, and you need to adjust the needle valve to get the pilot flame about the size of a cricket ball.
So this has to be done on site as an adjustment,
Yes,
or you can't do it from here and send it?
No, it has to be done on site because you have to have all the blowers hooked up.
Okay.
You have to have it running the way it really runs.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So once the pilot is lit, we also have...
No, but describe all the components to me before you go to the pilot lit part.
Well, I think you want to see, this is the flame rod here that monitors the pilot flame.
So when when it monitors the flame in the sense that when the flame is lit and the flame rod can sense the temperature, it basically is a physical contact that takes place to tell the system that the flame is lit.
Right.
Or the pilot is lit.
That the pilot is lit. It's not sensing the temperature. It's an electric circuit between the ground
and the flame
and the flame rod, and the flame is the conductor.
Okay.
So once the flame is there, it conducts, and you get a signal back to the combustion safeguard in the control panel.
Okay. Then go over all the components that you described.
Well, also this over here is the igniter and the ignition transformer. So
and where does this come into play? Where is the ignition? Is this the only thing that lights the pilot?
yeah, this is what lights the pilot.
Okay.
So it sparks like a spark plug in your car, and it lights the pilot.
Okay.
You have 15 seconds for trial for ignition. If it doesn't light in 15 seconds, you have to repurge.
Okay.
And you try it again.
Okay.
So once the pilot is lit, you have the main regulator over here to adjust the main pressure.
Okay.
Okay. And you have two blocking valves here.
These are both motorized valves.
Both motorized valves.
Okay. And the prerequisite is the pilot will not fire if both these motorized valves are in closed position, or what they say is in low position.
Only the safety shutoff valve is required to be in low position.
Okay.
So you have to prove that first valve is in low position before you can light it.
Okay.
Before you can open it.
Okay.
Okay. And this is a vent valve.
Okay. What is the function of the vent valve?
The vent valve is it closes when these other two valves are open to allow gas to flow through here. Okay. When these other two valves open, this one closes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this one opens to vent this area to outdoors.
Okay.
So you have to run a vent line outside.
Okay.
Okay. So once the two valves are opened, then the gas flows up into the...
What is this that is connected to... what is this unit that is connected to the back end of the...
let me finish this first, and then we'll get to it.
Okay.
Okay, this comes up into the burner, and the gas is then mixed with the air from the blower. We have a blower in here.
Okay, and what is this blower called?
This is the combustion blower.
Okay, and this is what is mixed, the air is mixed with the gas.
Yeah, the air and the gas go in together in the burner.
Okay.
And this modulating motor here controls the level of gas that flows into the burner.
Okay.
All right, and it's controlled by a 4 to 20 signal, 4 to 20 milliamps from a temperature controller.
Okay.
And over here we also have a low position switch, which we require the burner to be in low position before we light the pilot. So.
Okay. So that's connected to the other end of the modulating motor control.
Yes, it's connected to the other end of the rod that controls the damper
Okay.
that flows. There's a butterfly damper inside this modulator.
Okay.
And then over here we have the high-low gas pressure switch.
Okay.
If the gas is too low, it needs to be, it will trip. It will need to be manually reset here.
Okay.
If the gas is too high, same thing. This one will trip and need to be reset.
Okay.
And this is the pressure switch for the combustion blower that ensures that the combustion blower is operating.
Okay.
And that is pretty much the gas train. Now what you asked about these other things over here, these are provided for you to do a leak test.
Okay.
So the requirement is once a year in the US that you have to check these valves and make sure that there's no leak. So what you have to do is you close these valves, you put gas pressure on it, and you open up these taps, and you put the hose from the bottom of the tap into water and see if you get bubbles.
Okay.
So if you get bubbles, then you know your valve is not fully closed and
Okay.
it needs to be adjusted or repaired.
Okay.
Okay, and same thing with the second valve.
Okay. And
And also the pilot valves also have to be leak tested, and they have the same thing. over
same
here.
taps on the other side. So that is for the pilot valve. Okay.
Pilot valve and the main valves.
Could you just once again point out all the pressure gauges and what they mean,
Okay.
right?
This is the main pressure coming in before it's regulated from your plant.
Okay.
This is the pilot pressure, which is
Okay.
adjusted by this.
Does
regulator.
Rick have any figures on what they should be set for the different?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the pilot regulator and the gauge for the pilot regulator.
All right.
And then over here we have the gauge for the main gas, which
regulator.
after the main regulator, which is right here.
Okay.
It's tapped right here. And similarly, you can adjust the regulator. You see the gas pressure changing as you adjust it.
Rick, does this change with respect to when the BTUs change? What changes between this and the other two units? I mean, which is the biggest of the three? That one?
Two are the same size and one is smaller.
So what is it that changes it? I mean, is it the size of the pipes, or is it the blower
Yes.
size, or the fan, or what is it that makes it more or less? What differentiates the two models?
Actually there's an orifice in the burner itself that allows more gas flow at a certain modulating setting.
And it's a different model too.
It's a different model. It's 625 and 615, but that tells
Okay.
you the size of the orifice or the valve configuration that we have to
Okay.
get for the propane. The pressure changes it and fine tunes it a little bit also. Right, the pressure that are those inches, water column, or the?
Yeah, I believe these are
KP.
inches. They're both, I think.
Okay, can you just go
And also
around?
you'll see, I'm sorry.
Could you just go around? I'm just taking a video, so explain to us if there's anything else we need to understand, so I can describe to the people who are installing it, or whatever.
Well,
I think Cornell's
I
given me a good
talked about
explanation of the Maxon
talked
unit.
about the vent. This is the
Flame rod.
flame rod connection that has to go separate conduit.
The other thing that needs to be vented is the regulator. The regulator needs a vent also.
Okay, so we've got to
That should be
connect.
tied in and
Okay, so you've got a vent for the valve in between. You got one vent for the regulator, two vents for the regulator, one for the pilot as well as this.
I think so. Definitely the main. The pilot might be, it might be small enough that you don't need it.
Okay, and this is where is the proof of? I see there's another pressure switch that's for the supply blower or the recirculating blower.
Yes, that's for the recirculating blower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that you need to tell me about on these units? How often do you have to clean the filters on these units?
when they're dirty.
But if there's no proof, there is no nothing that you can think of. Okay.
Sometimes people will put a differential on here just so they can keep track of it, depending on the location,
Mm-hmm.
what we've got, I mean, if it's a very dusty area or whatever.
Yeah. A lot of
Okay.
people don't even use them.
A
Okay.
lot of times the filters are just.
Do you want to walk me through the panel with some
Yeah.
similar information on the front door so we get a...
Okay, we can start with the front door.
Is that video back sound?
Yeah, that's why I'm taking it, so it's very easy to explain to the people rather
So
than,
watch what you say. Okay, this is the panel on off right here.
Okay.
Once you turn on the power, the horn will go off. Okay, so make sure that the horn works. You silence it right away, it will stay off. When your exhaust is working, you are making the pressure switch and your VFD is proven, this light will come on. When the recirculation air is flowing and the air pressure switch and VFD are proven, this light will come on. Then you can start the combustion blower by pushing this button. This light will come on. Then you can just go down the line and reset the high limit controller, and this light will come on. This light will come on as long as the gas pressure switches are reset and functioning.
Between the high and low level.
Between high and low gas pressure, but you should not have to reset them unless they trip.
Okay.
This you have to reset when you turn on power. This one you should not have to reset unless it trips.
Okay.
And if you've got 4 green lights, you're in purge. The
Okay.
light
Yeah.
will be off, but it'll be purging.
When these lights are on and this light is on, then you're purging. After the purge is complete, this light will come on, and then you can start your pilot.
You hold it down.
Yeah, you push the pilot, you hold it down until the light comes on. If the light doesn't come on within 15 seconds, you have to repurge. It will automatically start repurging. And then after 15 seconds, this light will come back on, and you can try and light again.
How would it automatically start? I mean, it's ultimately tied into my VFD.
The reason for that is if you have air in the line, or you've been down for a while and it takes a couple pushes of the button to get the gas up to the burner.
Okay.
That's the only reason for that what Cornell just explained.
Well, it could be any reason. You could have an igniter that's not working.
Could you describe the
You're holding-
components to us also in the panel?
Right.
Right, well, let me just finish by saying
Yeah.
this is where you turn on the main burner. And this is where you adjust your temperature on the temperature controller, okay?
Could it be possible to just wire it up and show, I mean,
Tomorrow I can show you.
so either tomorrow or Wednesday I come in at that full day
Yeah.
I spend with you
Yeah,
guys?
we're wiring this one right now for testing.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing with this is, when you stop the main burner, or the main burner goes out on its own, the horn will sound again. So you just silence it and you go find out
Okay.
why it shut off.
Okay.
Unless you know that you turned it off. Okay, inside we can just go down, and there are some components missing because we're testing in the field.
Oh, I understand.
All right. We have our main circuit breaker, brings in the 415 volts and distributes it over here to the various devices. Here we have a control transformer that makes the 115 volts from the 415 volts.
Why have you not put it in the panel?
Because it generates heat and because the space is tight in the panel. So we like
You
to,
have a mounting block for it behind, on front, on top. Where have you put it?
it's right here, it's bolted to the top.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's solidly bolted there. Okay, and the components, you have control relays for each zone. There's 3 zones here, so they're identical. You just, this zone 1, zone 2, zone 3.
You probably will have to give us, 4 or 5 of each, or if there's, the same control relay, then just give a 4 or 6 pieces. So if it fails on the field,
Yeah.
we can just replace them.
Yeah, there's nothing special about these relays.
But because they're US based,
Yeah.
I won't get them there.
Right. These are the combustion safeguards, okay? One for each zone. When the flame is on, there's a little light on here that lights. Just like the light in the green pilot push button. It's the same light. This is the timer for your purge time. If the purge time is too short, it can be replaced with another timer. Right now, these are 45-second timers. with 15-second trial for ignition.
Okay.
So if we want to change that, we'll change it to a higher
minute and-
purge
yeah.
time. But 15 seconds is the maximum trial for ignition. This is where you will connect your flame rod. Right here where it says E.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the flame rod goes. We did not provide terminals for connecting the flame rod because it's best to bring it right to the combustion safeguard.
You mean the wires will hang and go up there?
I would drop them from the top and bring them in right here. And we'll run them in separate conduits. Don't put them together in the same conduit.
You got an
It's a
opening for
mic.
them on top? You'll have to make an opening for them.
You will have to make an opening.
You just make a hole in it. I don't want stuff falling down.
There's gonna be a lot of holes in
There's gonna be a lot of holes, right?
You mean you've not got a gland plate on this?
No.
Oh, that's not good news at all.
Okay, so these are the reversing motor starters over here for the jacks going up and down. Okay.
And where are those zero speed?
The 0-speed switches are on the devices themselves in the field.
Okay.
These are timers used in conjunction with the relays that control the up and down motion.
Mm-hmm.
We can discuss their function later. These are the high limit controllers.
Will they indicate the temperature which is settable there?
They will.
Okay.
And they will be preset before you receive them, and you should not have to adjust them.
which is why they're inside the panel. So the operator shouldn't have to touch them.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to show me on the shop floor?
I don't think so. You can look around if you want it.
No, I'm talking about you were going to show me the thermocouples and stuff like that.
There's your terminals that you're going to go into.
You know, Rick, these terminals are a wrong location, man. And there should be gland plates on the bottom. Can you imagine making holes into this? Hundreds of holes there.
Shouldn't be hundreds of holes.
No, you see the great problem with unsupported wires that are hanging by their weight down? The chances of disconnect is very high.
Well, part of the problem is that if we put holes in the top, somebody wants to bring them in the side. If we put them in